A special good night to all our viewers. Welcome to Caribbean American News Network. Yes, my friends, greetings, greetings, greetings. How was your day, folks? How was your weekend? How was your Easter? Let's hope that all is well, all went well. We're here tonight. It is 8:04 p.m. here in New York, and I believe that it would be the same time in the Eastern Caribbean. If you are living in St. Lucia, it is 8:04 p.m. You're living in Grenada, Barbados, Dominica, you're on the same timeline here with Caribbean American News. Greetings to all. We invite you to take the opportunity to share the platform at this time, and for notification in the upcoming week and weekend, what we will advise you to do, those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube, to subscribe to the channel, and you want to press on the bell so that you can be notified when we are on. There will be a number of lives. We will be going live every hour on the hour. And so we hope that you can enjoy the journey with us as we take you through the island of St. Lucia from north to south and east to west. For those of you who would want to contact Caribbean American News on the go, on the ground in St. Lucia, you can use that same number, 929-586-1821, and we will post a local number where you can reach us for breaking news, or you want us to come to your community, or there's something you would want to highlight. You can always reach out to us on our platform. So greetings, friends, and welcome to Caribbean American News Network. Also, those of you on Facebook, you would want to subscribe, and you would also want to, when you go over there, press that bell so that you can get the notifications that would permit you to know when we are on. All right? So thank you again, and very sad weekend indeed in St. Lucia, by the way. For those of you who have celebrated your religious holidays, we want to say to you that we are happy that you were able to take the break and reflect on the man Christ Jesus. For those of you who do not believe that Christ was crucified and risen again, then you are entitled to that position also. But I just want to let you know that we celebrate the God's presence in our lives every time we breathe. Every time we breathe, that's what happens. It's a reflection of God's magnificent work. We are intelligently designed. But let's get into business. There's a lot going on. I would confess again, I was not coming on tonight, but I was out and I got a call from one of our supporters saying to me, "You better get online tonight. I don't care how you get on, but you got to get on." So I'm here tonight, and I want to thank you very much for your stick-to-itness and your love for Caribbean American News, and your prayers and your support towards myself and this platform. We'll continue to advance these issues that affect you and your families in the society. All right? So just want to big up everyone, Queen, Lady D, Boss Lady D, Gloriana, all the others. Good night to you. Yes, it is 8:07, yes, in the U.S. That time instead of switching to daylight. Yes, I know. And to our Facebook viewers, Joseph Wilson Gill, my friend Per Marshall, Bravo, my buddy, Mary, how are you? Alvin and Hyacinth, how are you? Jackie Georges, how are you? Are you related to Allison George, Jackie? Okay, Rosemary, Mosheri, Kent Edwin, how are you, my friends? Greetings to all. Smith, how are you? Just coming in. Folks, I just want you to, Angeli, how are you? Good. Folks, I just want us to pause a while and reflect on where we are as a nation. Now, for those of you who don't believe in God, just give me a moment, because I am a testimony of God's goodness, and I just want to speak on his behalf for the moment. All right? Folks, let me say to you, whether you believe in God or not, righteousness still exalts your nation. A nation that does not fear God is a nation in ruin. That nation becomes a downhill. A downhill in Bible times, it's an area where you have garbage, you have filth, you have everything that is not desirable. A downhill. Very bad place. You know? If you do not fear God, that is what happens when God is removed from the house of assembly, when God is removed from our schools, when God is removed from our communities, from our hearts, then we are left to our own. And that's why everybody right now, they are scrambling for a solution to the problems in St. Lucia. How can we fix this? And people are confused. You send in more police, more guns, more vehicles, more whatever it is, and you still have that problem. Brethren, the problem is the hearts of men, period. Whether it's your local politician, your pastor, your church members, your community members, it is the heart of men. The problem is our heart. So we will continue to struggle for answers. We will continue to try our best to fix crime problems in the nation unless we truly turn to God. Turn from our wicked ways. And many of you can identify with me that there are a lot of persons with really bad hearts. And tonight I'm going to just go rogue. I'm just going to go crazy tonight, because if we don't speak the truth to you, if I don't tell you the truth and I come here shouting and roar and everything else, how are we going to find solutions? If every time I come to present to you, it is about me, it is about somebody did me this, somebody do me that, how are we going to solve problems in our society? You see why I try to maintain the professionalism of Caribbean American news. I try my best by the grace of God. Am I perfect? No. But I strive every day to be perfect. We got to come on these platforms and use them to advance these issues that are affecting you and I in the society. Amen? They are affecting you and I and our families. Those of us who overseas and have our families in St. Lucia, we are concerned. There's a burden on our hearts. There's tears in our hearts for what is happening to this fair island. Yes, it's a beautiful country. Somebody just reached out to me. They said, wow, I went down to St. Lucia. Beautiful country, beautiful, love it. But crime. And I noticed that something was happening. There was a shift years ago. I went to St. Lucia a couple of years ago, and I parked in Dennery on the side of the street, not on anybody's property. And a lady came out and started cursing me, abusing me. And I was just there sitting, watching her, and she went on. And you can see the anger, the bitterness pouring out of her. And I sat there in pity, because I'm not going to bring myself down to the level of cussing and, back and forth with a woman, especially. No. So this have been in our communities, in our society for a long time. And yes, not only St. Lucia, but there are other countries that are suffering also from crime, from social issues on the development and malnutrition and undernutrition, lack of housing, lack of jobs, lack of opportunities for our young people. Adults bullying young people because of greed. They hold on to positions that they should retire from. politician goes in and their friends and their cliques, they force them into office, whether they meet the requirements or not, and then you have an issue in your society. We got to speak the truth, brethren. That's how we heal. That's how we get better. We cannot stick our necks in the sand and believe that the problem is somebody else. It is our problem. And not only that, it is our problem, we are our own problem. For instance, we lost 4 individuals, 4 souls perished in Vieux Fort on the heavy police presence, under a state of crime that was declared by the Prime Minister in Vieux Fort. Now be careful, I'm not blaming the Prime Minister for crime, not going to do that now. But we will have a conversation. We will have a conversation about our churches, our social groups, and we will have a conversation about our government leaders. We must have this conversation. We cannot run away from the conversation. It is necessary. Just like you have a problem in the home, a crisis in your home, you will call a meeting as the leader. You'll call a meeting with your children, with the wife, with the grandma, and everybody. You will bring them together and you will discuss the issue. Sometimes it gets loud, but it is necessary for that conversation. For instance, I was saying, we had all these killings and families are in tears, in mourning in St. Lucia. You know what I found on social media? Ian called John, one of the UWP's surrogate supporters, being accused of rape by a social media commentator with no evidence. I spoke to Ian today. Ian have never been in that area. He have never been there. He don't know what this guy is talking about. But he was accused openly of being wanted for rape. A case in the United States that the police will go out of their way to get you. Even though you jump from state to state, they will find you. And these accusations are being made openly with impunity, and people are just careless with their words. Adults with children and families. You understand the outrage. And so he opens his mouth and spew this evil against another human being when he have not the slightest evidence that Ian have been charged, arrested, or even wanted by the police. If you go over to Crime Stopper, you will never see a wanted picture for Ian. If you go to Police Bulletin in Philadelphia or here in New York, you will never find a bulletin stating that Ian is wanted for rape. Damning allegations and accusations. But with impunity, we spew those things online, and because persons don't act swiftly to deal with those issues legally, then persons continue. When can we lift the discussion? How can we move the discussion? How can we keep our discussions on social issues? With these platforms comes responsibility, you see. And as I warn social commentators over and over again, that history will be very harsh to us and our children. Our children will be embarrassed by these utterances that are etched into the history of cyber space. Persons who cannot pronounce a word properly or even their names. Persons who do not understand how a country runs, how government function, spews bitterness with the hope of getting a laugh or a like or a follow. How is this possible? Those kind of allegations are serious and should be dealt with accordingly. And it is time for persons to stop this nonsense. You do not have evidence, you do not have information, but you share it anyway. And some of you are malicious because you are sharing things that you know nothing about. You do not know anything about what you're saying. You just talk carelessly, damaging people's reputation. Do we know what we're doing on social media? And it's time for those who are on social media to step the game up. Stop acting like fools. I don't know if some of us, when we were growing up, never got attention, or we do not understand our position as creators, content creators, or social bloggers, or public figures. Do you understand your role? And let me ask some of you, when you look at some of our programs, including mine, how do you feel at the end of the program? Do you feel better about yourself that you are involved in Roro, you are involved in all kind of petty name calling? How do you tell Ian Cauldron that he's wanted for rape? How do you do that with a straight face? And how are people under those lives, they are liking, they are following, they are engaging, not realizing that they are itching, they are signing approval of on what is being uttered on the platforms. And you are telling me that the government is the only one responsible for what is happening in our society? You and I have a great responsibility. You and I, we have a great responsibility towards those who listen to us. Some of us are very malicious, evil on our minds, devilish, because you've got to be demon possessed, one, to have no evidence on an individual, but yet you make a statement about him. Dangerous statement that can land him in jail if it is true. And the same thing you do to politicians. Shasna is a thief. Guy is a thief. The prime minister is a thief. This one is a thief. Do you have information? Do you have evidence? Why do you say what you say? Brethren, we have a major problem in our society. A major problem in our society. And social media platforms, I am warning us, we will reap a whirlwind of reward if we are not careful. Some of us will lose everything we have because of our mouths. We got to be responsible. We got to do our research and get information. If it's Roro, leave the Roro off of social media. It's a public platform and it can be used for much good. We can pressure governments to do the necessary changes in our society that are needed now. But what we cannot do, and the only drama we used to have back in the days was Young and Restless, Bold and Beautiful. You would sit down and watch it all night, the drama. Excitement. It wasn't so bad as what we have now. And decent people are being caught up and are cheering on. People with intelligence, people even who are Christians, are cheering it on, are liking, and they're sharing. And some of the words that you hear, they are very demeaning, They are evil. They are curse words. They are all types of things. And we entertain ourselves. How do we feel? How will you feel? What will be your legacy when you pass on? How would your grandchildren and your children see you? Supposing your grandchildren or your children one day flip over to a Facebook Live that you did how many years ago, and they see you, their grandparents, you, their mother, you, their father, doing foolishness online and supporting foolishness, slackness. We got to lift the standard. We got to raise the standard. And we should never settle for mediocrity. We should never settle for this ghetto type, bush type mentality. The world has evolved. The world is much bigger than the nonsense that we embrace as culture, as us. It is us. And I heard many of you, well, we are St. Lucians and we are passionate. No, that's not being passionate. That's being ignorant. There's a difference between passion and ignorance. What passion is not is this: accusing a man of rape when you have no information on him. That's ignorance. It's downright idiotic. It is stupid. It is childish. And it is time for us to stop provoking people. We are provoking people to anger. When people are provoked and they get angry, they react. They say things, they do things, they wish things, and the devil steps in and bam, trouble. We have seen this movie before. So please, I am asking social commanders, be responsible for what you say and be ready to stand in court and back up what you're saying. If you believe what you're saying is truth, you be ready and willing to stand in the court of law and stick to what you're saying. If you are not sure about standing in court, be very careful with your mouth. And many might not end up in court. Many might end up in a very bad place. In a very bad place that you should have never been in the first place. Think about what you say before you say it. And many of you would remember some of your friends, they give the worst of jokes. Jokes ki pani do, go. It is evil. It is more mepui. Most of you have met people like that, friends, close friends. Yo ka ba ou mepui, me yo ka di say black killer, black. They give some stupid jokes that makes no sense at all. It's like somebody said your child and say, Isha lady sa pa issue, sa pa issue abutin killer, vie blague. Vie blague. A lot of people get themselves killed for those old jokes. And because you want people to laugh, you choose a joke like that, and that is good. That is acceptable. Brethren, let's step it up. That's all I can say. Because we are going to end up in a very bad place. Some of you will have to be praying for some of these social media commenters because of their mouth. You will have to start praying. As a matter of fact, some of you will have to start sending your money for support of legal fees and all kind of fees. Be careful. Don't support slackness online. Don't do it. It's dangerous. And you are creating bitterness and hatred in your society. That's the society that you want. You're comfortable with that. And I leave this right there. We can do better. We must do better. That 2-year-old boy was depending on us. Those families who got killed were depending on us to be better, to do better, and to encourage civility in our society. The next family could be ours. We do not know. What can I say? We don't know. We don't. Let's do better. Let's love mercy and justice, that which is right. And in so doing, we will start recovering. Our land is going to be healed because the Bible says righteousness exalts the nation. Sin brings destruction and death to the society. Brethren, we've had a bloody weekend. I don't even have the desire to discuss this, but we must have this discussion. We must have it. And let's look at this. And by the way, I have developed an attitude where folks can come at me with all that they have. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. We have a bigger mission ahead of us, and that is to lay a foundation for the generation to come. And we must start building that foundation now. We are late in the process. We are late. But we can start from here in building a better St. Lucia, especially a better View Fort for our children, our little boys, our grandmothers, and our grandfathers to be able to they should be able to walk in the streets without fear and sleep at night without the fear of anybody coming at them to destroy them. So let's look at this. So, this is what we had this weekend. Bear with me, I keep not wanting to put this thing up. It's not anything where you can see the death. But let's go first and deal with our young 3-year-old boy from View Fort who lost his life as a result, based on reports, and these are unconfirmed by me, 8 bullets. I took a moment of silence to reflect on this question: what have we done as a nation to this young boy? How did we fail to protect this family, this young boy? Where did we go wrong? As one, a society, and 2, as a government. Where did we go wrong? Young child, look at him. Many of us saw his body on the ground, naked. My God. His body on the ground, naked, with his vest on him, lying in a pool of blood. My question tonight is, where have we gone wrong as a nation? And I don't want you to act like you have no feelings. I don't want you to act like, oh, that's somebody else's family, not mine. It's not going to happen to my family. This was brutal. It was heartless. It was evil. And I am speechless. Which human being can look at a little child and shoot that child 7, 8 bullets? The anger, the rage, the evil. The evil. How have we created monsters in our society? When you have on social media, as soon after this child is dead, a grown man accusing Ian Caldron of rape. No evidence at all. That's what we focus on. A grandfather making that statement. What are we doing to our society? What are we doing to our society? Have we no shame? Have we no decency? Have we not a heart? This child could have been my son. Could have been your son. Could have been your child. What we got is the government just put out a little note to say it is Easter and we are saddened. No political outrage. Virginia Poyet, nothing. So holiday, so everybody has gone back. All politicians are eating and drinking, living riotously. While there is blood in our streets once again, we saw it on Independence Day. We saw it again a few weekends ago. And now just past weekend, it has taken an all different turn. A young child shot to death. Poor little boy. Was killed while our politicians go on, continue. Mr. Shastney is the problem. Mr. Shastney is the problem of St. Lucia. He's a white man. My friend Anson, he's not one of us. He don't like women. And that's the discussions that we have. While we are failing our young people, we have failed this 3-year-old boy as a nation. This grandmother, another victim, was taken down assassination style. It sounds now guilty by association. Dead. Gone. Young boy. Gone. Shut down. This poor woman went to a timeless grave, went to sleep as a result of bullets. No human deserve to die in a hail of bullets, especially children. Poor woman. My God. My God. My God. My God. Jesus. Boy. What we have, what we get, is a bunch of excuses. Blame game, Mr. Shastney, the UWP. Somebody came on the line here some weeks ago and they called and they said, oh, it's all the governments. It's Alan Shastney. Put the horse before hospital. So I would be thinking that what he is saying is that Alan Shastney put the horse before the hospital. That's why people are being killed in Viewfort. I heard Miss Seeley, this woman advocate lady, wrote a note and someone sent it to me saying that Mr. Anthony should sue me. Yeah, she said I should be sued for using Mr. Anthony's picture. Not a word, not a word. 4 souls perished this weekend. Not a word on social media. Not a word from her. Don't you think it's time for us to give ourselves a timeout? Not a word. Former politicians who you the people once voted for, not a word from them. Former UWP ministers, not a word. Not even a statement on Facebook. Former politicians. It says to me that many of them get themselves in politics only for the money or the benefits. Well, not because of a commitment to serving you, the people. Because I am voted out, my service to my country is finished. I no longer get a salary from the government, so I am finished. Finished with St. Lucians because they did not vote for me, so I turn my back on them. Let them die like dogs in the streets. That's why I say it is time for St. Lucia to bring forward a new breed of politicians. Don't let anyone handpick any politician to represent you, the people of St. Lucia. I am saying to you, you decide who represents you. Don't let nobody say to you, this is my friend. He's going to represent me. Don't let nobody do you that foolishness. It is time for a new breed of politicians. It is time for a new breed of thinking solutions to rise up in outrage and say, we are going to do this our way, not your way. These are here is our contract with you and your contract with us. These are the issues we need to be addressed. Not what you want to tell us. This is what we need. Our healthcare system, community centers to get our young troubled children off the streets. Get some of those boys who are at the Bodine Correctional Center, who they are sitting there languishing. Their cases have not been called. Many of them are innocent. These are the issues we need to be attended to right away. It is time for you, the people of St. Lucia, to rise up and demand better representation. But because you have not been demanding better representation, this is what you get, the loss of lives. Because nobody gave a hoot about you and your family, whether they're safe or not. All these guys are concerned about is their power and their monies and their pensions. They don't care a hoot about you and your family. Look at what they're doing. 4 persons got killed, including a child. Half of those politicians who represented you, St. Lucians, where are they? You don't hear their voice. You don't see them. They don't care about the issues in your communities. It is time for you to demand better in your country. It is time for you to stop allowing politicians to take you for a ride and drop you in the bad lane and have you to walk the rest. That's what they do for you. They give you chicken back, rum, pat you on the back, sit down by your old kitchen and eating with their hand like they mean what they're doing. They're playing a psychological game with you. I don't care whether they're UWP or SLP. It is time for you to stand up and demand better, or you will continue to die in the street like dogs. So because there is pressure on, what they do is that they send in the RSS, they send in more all police, throw them in view fort, and said, look, we took care of crime. Everything is okay. You heard some of those dotish hacks talking about Philip Jipe, won the war on crime in Viewford. Garfield is so silent. It is beautiful. Nothing is going on in Viewford. Wow. Philip Jipe is the only prime minister who did it. That idiot made that statement. And what we have now? A 3-year-old being killed. 3 other persons, grandmothers, plus another young boy shot dead in the street right there on the police. Where were the police? Anybody was caught? What? It was an Easter weekend, so everybody was out partying with the local girls? What the hell is going on in the country? And you know the evil thing is some of them will come for me. They will attack the messengers. But we have dead families who need to be buried. Grandmothers who should be alive. A child. who should have been alive. But what we talk about, Ian raped somebody and the police are looking for him. Evil. The things that we say with our mouths. Oh, we will reap a whirlwind of reward. Shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame what is happening in our society. And like I said, nobody can speak out. Why? They come for you. They tell you about your family, your teeth, You're past a quem. You don't have a degree, a pastoral degree. You're not a Christian. These are the nastiness. The last thing I heard is that my wife gave me a letter of divorce. That's the last thing I heard. You make stories up. Just talk. Just spew things out. And you expect a perfect society, a better society than what we have. You and I are the problem in the society. And many of you know that you are part of the problem. But no, it's the Prime Minister, it's Mr. Pear. He's the problem. You are the problem. When you can besmirch people's character without a cause, you are the problem. When you can lie on your neighbor, you are the problem. When you can spread rumors about your neighbor, people you know nothing about. You're the problem. When you men go around having sex everywhere, getting girls pregnant from community to community, leave them alone with those children. And some of these mothers, you know what they do in order to survive? Because you are not supporting the child, they got to go to Martinique, they got to travel to the United States, Canada, and all over the place to earn a living to take care of those children. Guess what? Those children are left sometimes to man themselves. Part of the problem is sex. Some of you cannot control your balls. You cannot control your sex organs. Your sex organs control you. That's why some of you are dying from AIDS. And that's why some of you are scratching. You're always scratching. You don't know what's wrong with you. And you spread demons from one female to another. Sex is one of the problems, you know. And I'll tell you two things that don't mix. You see sex and rum. You see rum and sex. Because most of the times the rum come first and then the sex come after. And you know what, guys, you do? You go. You have unprotected sex. You have all kind of sexually transmitted disease. Then you blame the government. You blame your neighbor. You blame the church for your own actions. Some of us got to take responsibility for our own actions in our society. We got to take responsibility for what is happening. Stop blaming everybody else. Let me talk to you men for a minute. Let me talk to you for a minute. It is time for you men to get back into the homes. It's time for you to start looking for your children. Go look for your children. You know they are your children, and some of you are evil because you know it's your child and you make that woman see hell. You say to her, that's not my child. And you know you are the father. And you put them through hell. And guess who pays for it? Society, of course. Yes, society pays for it. Our communities pay for it. Because when you have a young boy on the block, that young boy is open to any influence at all, good or bad. You can't tell me otherwise. It is the truth. When you have a young boy on the road, just free to roam, no restrictions. And by the way, you parents need to have restrictions on your kids. You got to be inside by 8 o'clock. You got to be inside at a certain time. If you're going to school, you got to be in at a certain time. But you are so city-wise, you see, and you and your child is the same age, You can't speak to the child because the child know that you're a thief. The child know that you're a crook. The child know that you're sleeping around the place. The child know exactly the nasty vices that you have. And so the child has no respect for you. So you cannot set no boundaries. You know what you do? You blame the government. But there are times when we as a people must take responsibility for what is happening in our society. When you go out there and have sex with a man and he impregnates you, it is not the government who send you out there to do it. You have the will. You have the freedom of choice. You have willpower. You have a brain like anybody else to think. And I'm speaking to you women. Don't come for me. It's the truth. Some of you like too much sex. You like too much food. You like too much nice things. You like too much bling bling. And you will do anything for bling bling. Including sleeping with a guy without condom. You know why you're having children? Because you're sleeping without condom. Which means that the possibility is there that you might have AIDS, you might have all kind of STD diseases, sexually transmitted disease, STD. And who you turn back and blame when you start scratching, when you start losing weight? You know who you turn back? The government. When will we learn as a people? And how many times have I been saying here that some of you grannies need to act your age? Some of you are sleeping with guys you should not be sleeping with. Yes, some of you granny need to behave yourselves. You can do better. You must do better. You should do better. Why? Because your community depends on it. This young boy shot dead. Why? Anybody knows? You know why? Anybody knows? Some of you are philosophers. You know everything. You know everything. Do you know why he's dead? Yes, inaction. Yes, persons who do not think clearly and reason clearly. As a result, we have lost a 3-year-old boy, 8 bullets. His grandmother dead. I don't know which one of them got shot first, but think about the horror that that child or the grandmother would have gone through to hear the shots ring out and realize that her grandson is on the ground in blood, or the grandson is a witness to his mother being slaughtered, his grandmother being slaughtered. And then he, in return, receives 8 shots. And we got to continue as if that's normal in our society. It is time for you, St. Lucians, to liberate your head. Get your head out of the gutter. Stop being evil in your thoughts. You're too evil in your thinking. You're evil towards your neighbor. You're evil towards everything. Even people you don't know, you're evil towards them. Jalousie. Hatred. Some of you in the diaspora, you as worst. You think that you would come here and liberate yourself? No, you are worst. Every corner you go to in Brooklyn, in somewhere in Queens or somewhere is trouble. Ou ka mal parler, ou ka di bagay, ou pa connaître. You know whose child it is. Ou pa te la. Mais ou sav. Est-ce ou te couche la? Some of you really ridiculous with the things that you say, you know. If you listen to yourself, a shy bagay, if many of us listen to ourselves when we say things about people, we would check ourselves into the mental home for medication, you know. And not any medication, injection, you know. The things that we say. I've listened to conversations where any person say, Savwe, yes, it's true. It's true. Next thing that you find out, they know nothing about the person. They don't know where the person live. They don't know the person's family. They know nothing about the person. We Savwe. We say, evil. You slow them down. Ça boucle la volée. Est femme là a jamais dormi avec non mou? Comment you connaître li? How you know that she's a prostitute? How you know that she sleep around? Est-ce a dormi avec non mou? So we just say things openly. Repeat things like parrots. Bringing curses on ourselves. Blighting our generations because of our mouth. Dig in your grave with your mouth. Some of us need to learn to shut up. We got to learn how to keep our mouths shut. Some of you, your ears like garbage dump. Tout cochonnerie. C'est who you can create c'est cochonnerie. You they calling all the time. Nobody else. Reverend, we have a nation, a society to save. And I'm not here tonight to go too much into no politics thing. I'm here to help you and I to be better in our society. One more time, book like the book like say a rapist. Comment you savent ça? Amoun Creole. Et amoun do ça. Et go repeatedly. And no, according to the St. Lucia's, nothing for that. Nothing for that. But when they turn around and they say and they speak the truth about you, ukafashi. Brethren, listen to me. The lines are open. I want you to call. And those of you, we're going to pray tonight too. I think we need to pray. And I already said to the Flabo, and I'm going to say it again, and some of you can get upset. You cannot have a convention without having a prayer session. I'm going to say it again. You cannot want to make a difference in the society. You have nothing about prayer, nothing about God, no church service, nothing at all. It is time for the United Workers' Party to get serious and stop playing games. Some of you call on God only when you want to get people made. God don't like ugly. You are ugly. You need to get nice. And get serious with your God. You are the ugly that he don't like. We want to use God as our pappy show. God will not be mocked. He is God. God will not be mocked. We can never mock God. God is God and will continue to be God. So the hypocrisy with politicians, calling God's name in vain, that's why you have what you have in your society. You have been calling the name of God in vain. You have been taking him for granted. You have been going to the Obia man and then you have been calling on God. You don't know what you want. You are calling his name in vain. And the Bible says that he will not have it. He will not be mocked. You have assassinated the preachers of righteousness. You have cursed them off. You have said all types of evil about them, and you expect good in your society. How would you expect good in your society? What you sow is what you reap. I am calling politicians back to God. I am calling St. Lucia back to God. I am calling the community back to God. I am calling the children back to God. I am calling the schools back to God. I am calling society back to God. Because he promised that he will heal your land. But some of you don't like these kind of talks. You prefer Roro. But tonight I am upset and outraged. Because we are losing our people. And we have no feelings, no emotions towards it. It's like a lot more. Another one dead, another one die. And that's how we go on. Move on. Let's wait for the next weekend. Another 4 get shot, another 5 get shot, same story. Prime Minister puts out a notice, oh, we sympathize on this holy weekend. Oh, this holy weekend we sympathize with the family. And the cycle continues. So I am saying, United Workers' Party, you better believe that righteousness exalts a nation. And you better believe that God will not be mocked. And you better believe that God sets up and he takes down. And you better believe that no amount of strategies and plans that you will put in place can you achieve outside of God. He says, I am God. I set up kingdoms and I take it down. And rightfully so, the United Workers' Party was taken down because they would have lost their way in politics. Many politicians came to their end. Their career in politics came to an end because they were greedy, they were evil, they were self-centered. And they did not give a hoot about any sick family or any hungry family in their society. Oh yes, I'm speaking the truth. And there are many more politicians that will be taken down. Because God will not be mocked. He is God. He sets up and he takes down. And just like the children of Israel, you asked for a king and you got a king. Deal. Because when God gives you something and you say to him you want something else, then he gives you to something else. And guess what? Most times you can't deal with the something else. We got to get back to God, brethren. If we need to be successful in leading a country, we must acknowledge God. You must acknowledge God. And that's why I'm saying to you, St. Lucians, do not select anybody to represent you because you have nobody. Somebody said, well, politics is not religion. It's not a church. So because it's not a church, you just forget about God and go doing your own thing. But there's a way that seems right unto man, but at the end are the ways of his destruction. So I said to you, go along. One day you will talk to a donkey. One day you will talk to the rocks and the mountains. And you will say, hide us from him who sits on the throne. So I'm saying to you, friends, we got to acknowledge God in everything that we do, in our going out and in our coming in. Period. If you don't believe me, you will experience it for yourselves. I endorse what I'm saying because it is the truth. So when you are selecting your politicians or persons to represent you in your communities, look at their morality. If they're running around with all different women, don't put them in office. You won't get nothing done. They will be packed in dark areas with all of your young girls, one per night. And if it's possible, they will give all of them a child, one per night. You hear me? So look at morality. Also, be careful in selecting leaders without a wife. That one is hard, but it's the truth. I'm not saying that those without wives can't function, But I know the men of St. Lucia, you see. They cannot control their pants. Their zips are slippery like hell. They will sleep with a zombie if they have to. And that's why that girl sang that song in Castries. What you say? La journée zombie, les soir sweetheart. Où je m'entends ça? La journée zombie, les soir sweetheart. Yes. It's the truth. What are you going to do with the truth? Fight? No, man. Say amen. Let it be so. It's the truth. You need moral leaders to be example. Don't select anybody who like to argue and cuss and fight. They can't control themselves. They're cussing every time somebody say something about them. They don't know how to just stand still and see the salvation of God. They don't know how to control themselves. You put them in office. You come and ask them for galvanize. Mamati. I'm not lying. It's the truth. Someone say, well, we don't need Christians should not be in politics. By the way, you need more Christians to lead your communities. You need more Christians to sit in parliament. Not those so-called Christians doing sign of the cross in parliament. Lay off in your guys yon a lot. Huh? And I keep saying to you, in opposition, you've got to be careful what you say, because you will have to lead the country. So you want to be very careful in opposition what you say. Why? Because you will have to lead the nation, not just your voters or your supporters. You will have to lead the entire nation. So therefore, you got to be careful in opposition what you say, because you will have to lead one day. And words normally come back to bite us. If it's not in the neck, in the crotch, or somewhere, but words always come back to bite us somewhere on our bodies. Be careful, be thoughtful in what you say. But be kindly affectionate one to the other. So yes, be careful in your selection. And I think it is time for communities to decide who they want really to represent them or to run in their parties. Not 2 people, 3 people in a corner. I know your family. I like you. I don't like the other one, so I'm going to put this one in. The person can't even lead a fowl cub. Not even fowls or pigs following them. But you want to put them to lead your country. They never led anything in their life. They never. Never. And so you put them there and expect them to do the impossible. The person is not a leader. They don't know anything about leadership. Be careful. You see this friendship thing? It have been destroying your country for years. You see all these position, ambassadorship, and government jobs in different areas. You got to be careful there too. It is time for there to be an overhaul in the system. It is time for there to be, for us to develop a different breed of politicians. One with vision, not the old thing. I've always been hearing people saying, Sapa Flabo, that's not John Compton Flabo. No, John Compton is dead. It cannot be his Flabo. Your party need to be progressive. So yes, you look back at what Mr. Compton did, which might not work going forward because of the changes in the world, in our society. You see? So therefore, you look back at some of his leadership qualities, but you want men and women with vision. Not building for yesterday, building for tomorrow. And that's why I come to the airport and St. Jude and our roads and our bridges. You've got to build for tomorrow. When most of our roads in St. Lucia were built, they were built for four trucks. Anson had one. Somebody else had one in Viewfort. One had one in Soufrière, one in Castries. Four trucks. Now you have every home with a car. Tout moun ni a motocar. De laisse 3 motocar. 4 motocar. You got to build smart. You got to build for the future. Therefore, it might be a little too late in some communities. Some of you have built your homes on the road. There is no space for development. Why? Because the people's vision was just before their nose. And it's the truth. We need visionary leaders. Why can I not have a cruise ship port in Vieux-Fort? The airport is, the international airport is in Vieux-Fort. Think about it. Why can I not build a state-of-the-art marina also in Vieux-Fort? The airport is right there. Why can I not have a cruise ship port in Vieux-Fort? Why? Tell me. To ease off pressure from gas trees. Why? Think about it. Visionary leaders. Why can I not have a massive hospital in Vieux-Fort? Why should I not have a hospital in Vieux-Fort that a helicopter can land on the top? That's where the world is going, friends. You think a helicopter can land on the old St. Jude? Look, they're going to change the roof again. For the 4th time, they got to change the roof. We need visionary leaders in our country. Yes, we do. We need engineers and architects that can design for the future. Lani yonder book say paper and pen to sell. They can't even put a plan on a computer. Paper and pen that you can do. Yeah, this is how we used to do it. 40 years ago, this is how we used to do it. And so we got to continue. Any change, what did the twaka? Just like in some churches, some of the people don't want to change their mentality. Same old mentality. Catch a girl pregnant, disfellowship her. Throw her out the church, pass her straight by the road. Call her a backslider, have a crusade, baptize her again, bring her in, she get pregnant, she go back out, baptize her, bring her back in. We have not changed anything. Same thing, same story. Gossip. They sit down on boards in churches, gossiping about the sinner. You ask one of them, have you spoken to Sister Teresa? Moko pale balia. Me amundi mwe. John di mwe bodai to that ite we famla egnomla. So yo kafe bagay. And that's what you have. That's what you have. You know, back in the days, the church board used to send investigators. So you di uka domi kamun. You can send people to watch you. Investigators from the board. Go watch him sin. They let mem investigate like a domi eksabula too, sav. Investigate that munla yo ve pugade munla. You can fe worse passe munla usav yo kave. We have not changed anything. The more things change, the more they remain the same. No change. And so when I come on the scene and I come as an agent of change, you got the air, me say backslide, me say Bob, me say ve adventist, me say a ve nege vole. Mem, nothing changed. Nothing changed. If you want to know about yourself, you come to America. You just get a visa, come on a plane. Before you land, all St. Lucians know your business. They know that you don't have a house. They know that you're sleeping in somebody's basement. You connect tooth back. They even know how you're snoring and you're just talking in your sleep. They know everything about you. And that's the truth. That's how, the same old things. You know, when you had pen pal, you would send, when you're trying to date a girl, you send a letter to St. Vincent, you send a letter to Grenada, Barbados, the pen pal system they had before we had all this technology. So, remember, Island Ugave. It's just like Philip J. Fair office, writing a hand note and giving it to a pigeon to deliver in Vieux-Fort. Remember, Island Ugave. We're doing the same thing and we're expecting our generation to be different. Huh? We got to build for the future. And you people in Dennery, let me say to you, it is time for you to look for a new cemetery spot. You are comfortable burying people on top of people. That cemetery is older than some of us. It is time to look for a new spot. What are our politicians doing? Where are their vision? What's our vision for these communities? People should not be leaving Castries, just view Dennery to go to Castries just to get a little service. When the government can set up a satellite office right there in Dennery so that person can come and they can, they can pick up the phone, call the person in Castries, say, look, I have Johnny. Johnny need to have something, some documents, and they either email it and you print it and you give Johnny. Johnny, here's your document. You don't have to go to Castries. That would not be a beautiful thing. Why can't we have all our police stations link in one data system? Why? Huh? Why? Tell me. Are you kidding me? Backwards. And something I wanted to talk about, and it is real. It is real, right? All these churches, think about it. All these churches that we have on the island of St. Lucia. The question really is, what have these churches been doing for the people of St. Lucia? So let's take this slowly. How many community centers have any of these churches set up in their community to serve the people of their community? For instance, let's look at the Adventist church. Is there a health clinic, an Adventist health clinic in St. Lucia? We talk about health. Health is wealth. I'm taking my time with you guys, because I ain't covering none of you. I ain't covering none of you. Unlike St. Vincent, who have a dental clinic in St. Vincent. How many religious dental clinics do you have in St. Lucia? How many nursing homes you have in St. Lucia? How many elderly care have you in St. Lucia that the churches are managing? Because some things government need to stay away from it. Because the more they touches it, the more they blight it. For instance, you want to set up a social post in Dennery. Some politician will have to bring in their cousin, give them a job, their auntie, their nenen, whole set of corruption in the one project. By the time it gets to the people, the government is not putting enough money in the project. No, you took all the money and you pay all your family members. It is time for the churches to take responsibility for these communities. Certain things should stay away from the hands of politicians. Because some politicians' hands are blight. Nothing to touch work. Look at half of the buildings in St. Lucia falling apart. Molds. Hospitals falling apart. Airports falling apart. Streets falling apart. Some of these government politicians, their hands are cursed. Because they have consulted the devil in hell. And the sad thing is that they can't pay him. So he kicking up hell in St. Lucia. Nasty evil. And you wonder what is happening with your society. And then you say Christians need to shut up and stay in church. I ain't shutting up and I'm not staying in no church. I am out there. I want to get dirty just with like the ordinary drunkard. I want to be out there with the prostitute and those who need to be ministered to. That's where I want to be. The grandmother who sees hell with her grandson because the mother is busy running around with different men, sleeping in different communities every night. You can't keep track of them. And young boys in Martinique, Grenada, St. Vincent, weed, drugs. And the poor grandmother can't speak. And church leaders tell you, bring them to church. We'll shout at them at the pulpit, tell them all kind of things they don't know. We shout at them. We try to help them, bring them. And when you bring some of your children to church, the priests, the pastors, some of the leaders sleeps with them, abuse them sexually. Another set of crisis in our land. And because it's pastor or elder, and because priests, and because they have certain position in society, you can't say nothing. You can't speak out. Don't say nothing, darling. The church will give you a little $500 every month. Don't say nothing, man. The devil took over pastor just for a few minutes. Don't say nothing. Your head, don't go to court, eh? It's father. It go look really bad, and Jesus wouldn't like that. And all kind of psychological game in our society. Brethren, you are being attacked at every corner, every level in St. Lucia. Demonic influence, crooked politicians, crooked religious leaders, crooked leaders in your society, crooked bus drivers, crooked young people, generation of vipers. And a bunch of idiots on social media spewing a host of bitterness and nonsense that are not edifying to you and I. But they say to you, oh, no, Mr. Preacher Man, take it easy. Don't bring up your blood pressure. Nothing to see here. Leave the people alone. You meet the people in that thing, just leave them. Don't say nothing, huh? You can't throw. And so everybody's in their shell. Nobody wants to speak up against the ills in government. Some of you can't talk because you're in bed with government ministers. Some of them have slept with your children. Some of them have done a host of crookedness. Some of them have their wives and they still have you pregnant. And some of you parents, you know, is the politician's child, but you keep it quiet because it's politician. The man give me a little contract. He can build a little plywood house for me and he give me a little food. I can't say nothing. But the man wife down the road, and you know that slackness. See them when I create my damn book like Nadi, you have a child over here. Come help take care of the child. It's your husband's child. You got to speak up. Don't be afraid of their faces. Well, some of you not Christians, so you don't care. You don't care about God, ain't it? You only care about God, Easter, Christmas, funeral service, and weddings. And some of you scared to go to church. I see some of you, I used to see when I was younger, you're afraid to come into church. Some of you staying right down the block. You dress up in your funeral clothes, but you're staying right by the post, the electric post. You ain't coming into church. Ou pè? Ou ka fè tellement magie, nou? Ou ka fè tellement bêtise ka? Ou pè l'église là? Ou pè ou ka pou di fè si ou otwe? So not even wedding funeral service you go to. And some of us have a lot of heart. A shy chair, check a pesh. Ou ka vole, ou ka menti, ou ka fè tout kind de bagay, ou ale pulpit la, ou ki men nom la. Ou check li, mais ou sav. And the good thing about that, our God is a long-suffering God, a lot of patience, but one day it runs out. And that's why some time ago we saw a social media blogger fall off his chair backwards. Monsieur fait un coco macaque, kalet says la, ka pale bêtises. Ou quoi demo ka jouer? Là ou ka tickle demo, ou ka wiki demo, ou ka tickle, ou ka chikilikli. You chikilicking the devil. Ek le demo a leve fiso wa te, ou ka ve tout partout ba weboun. Demo ki futo wa te. Ou ka tickle-lickly, ou ka jepi. They say when you play with little dogs, you get fleas. Ou ka jouek ti chien, ou ka hen pinez. Huh? Ou ka grato. So some of us don't care about God. We don't give a hoot about anything in our society. These families, these people get killed. Some of us have no feelings. That's how you test the temperature of your nation. How do you respond when somebody loses a family member? How do you feel? Do you feel your heart broken? How do you feel when somebody dies in your community? Reverend, I was putting up the system to come on. Reverend, when I look at this sister, I'm going to put up the picture. When I look at this woman, my heart just break. To see that woman sitting in a house and somebody just walk up and shoot her, and she, poor family, ipa on that saki ka wivei. Tout koi ka bouilei. De la ipa fe mouna yin. De laisse ishli or famille qui fait bêtise et koi. This woman, I cry, brethren. I cried on this set before I put on the light. And this boy, my heart bleeds for him. My heart bleeds for this child. Be careful with our environment. Be careful with your environment, because our environment will either make us or break us. Let me just take a moment. I'm going to read your messages. Brother, you can call me, The line is open. Please, we're going to close just now, but I'm going to give you all 20 minutes again. Call the line. Call the number. I think it's on there, 929-586-1821. And let's talk. Tell me how you felt. Brethren, call. You don't have to speak good English. You say parle Creole. Just crier. Anu parle, anu cause. Let's talk. Tell me how you feel when you got this news of this child. Maybe you just want to call in to pray. Create limoa. It's a WhatsApp number. 929-586-1821. But let's go to the screen. So first, I see my friend there. Anson. King David was a man after God's own heart, yet he took Uriah's wife. Well, if you all want to know what life is, keep taking people's wife. Put your treasure. Where I said nom ka kui, kite all their underwear, everything. You ka kite, you ka kui. You can jump scale wall. You can wear tout ka de bagay. You follow George Jones. I didn't pick the fruit. It was offered free. Huh? I didn't jump the fence. The fruit was offered free. And those are the kind of music that we like to enjoy. Ooh, and we dance in Western. I didn't jump the fence. The fruit was offered free. If you had pruned the tree and blah, 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 blah. And then you go take people's wife and take their husband and see where you end up. Well, I was just saying, I was just speaking generally, but that wasn't to Anson by my. So I don't think Anson is going to take anybody's wife. But don't follow King Solomon or King David. You know what happened to them fellas, King David and Solomon? You know what they say at the end of everything? They say vanity. Mavle, bodye. You ever see them sisters, old ladies in St. Lucia? Like you fashe? King David say, vanity of vanity. Mavle, vexation of spirit. All is vanity. So all the women that you run, and let me say something about you men. All the women you guys running, you realize that, right? One day, one of these same women will have to clean your balls, wash your behind, because upakai sa fin ayenko. And by the way, men, go check your prostate or prostrate or whatever you have. Go and check it out. Est-ce que tu as do? Because où est toutes ces femmes qui ont joué, ou joue, ou juste qu'à ouais femme là qui veut, ou passe à toucher patate là, ou pas à faire rien. So get your priorities straight. Caller, you're on the air. I'm upset tonight. Go ahead. Caller, what the air?
Brother Garfield?
Yes, sir. Muela. Dale. Call you on the air. Go ahead.
Brother Garfield.
Yes, sir. On the air.
Your friend Anson, how are you?
Welcome to the platform, Anson. Tread softly. A whisper is heard. Welcome, brother.
I just wanted to talk about
Yeah.
the situation involving this child.
Oh, my God.
And it is one of the most heinous crimes I have seen in my lifetime.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It saddens me to the point that I've wondered for many breathless moments thinking about this tragedy. The ruthlessness of the killing in St. Lucia. I don't say killing this, I mean, it's kind of assassination to me. It's more than, just killing. And when we get to a point where people kill women and children, wow. It's a real wow for me. Even in every war I know, I mean, I've watched wars and wars are ongoing. Mm-hmm. I think these two species are the species that people protect the most. It's always no women and no children.
Yeah, true.
And when I get to a point whereby I see people kill this child, I heard you asking, I've been on all the time, where is the outrage? I have been outraged. I'm so outraged. But one of the things I must also say to you is, while you are so outraged, while so many people are so outraged about the killing, yet in our Prime Minister's willingness to handle the situation and the past laws and people that are supposed to enforce it are against it, what is your recommendation? What do you think is necessary, or how do you propose that we handle a situation when the Prime Minister is passing laws to be able to help curb the situation, yet there are so many people who are so critical about it? What do you think should be done? You said you're not blaming him, but you said he took a victory lap. You said, there's no more crime in Beaufort and all the rest of it. Yeah. How do you blame somebody for laws that they put in place to help curb the situation? But yet there are more people that are critical of the same law, which if taken seriously, and they had gone and find those guns that killed the lady and her grandchild, perhaps they would have still been alive today. So how we can't have it both ways. Okay, we have to determine which of them do we want. Do we want to execute the laws, go out there and find the gun and prevent them? Or we will be critical of the same laws, yet when people die, we see that the Prime Minister is not doing nothing. Give me your honest opinion on that subject, Brother Garfield. Okay,
stay on the line. All right, brother?
I'm here.
Good. So you ask a good question, and the question is, why can't the opposition leaders question the Prime Minister of the government in the interest of the people based on laws, new laws that are being passed in the country? Why should we want the opposition to roll over and just say to a government, good job, keep going, keep doing that, without asking questions? Now, Mr. Chasney, question certain parts of the bill. Mr. Kenny Anthony also brought up, and even other legal minds brought up some issues that I believe the persons who wrote the law missed, rightfully so. And so the question came up about people's right, people's civil right, constitutional rights in a country. The opposition is there, my friend, to keep the government in check. The opposition is there to ensure that laws and programs that are passed benefit the people of St. Lucia and does not discriminate against them. I am happy, Brother Anson, that we have an opposition that will ask the pertinent questions. An opposition not like the independent candidates who are singing from the same hymn book with the Labour Party. in the person of Mr. Richard Frederick and the person of the other guy, the heavy roller guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name. I am happy that we have that balance of power, and not like what we have in St. Lucia, where you have the press not asking any questions, just drinking exactly every Kool-Aid that the government give them to drink. So I am saying, but wait, before you go to the problem, listen, let me finish. The government has a responsibility to protect the people of St. Lucia. They were elected to secure the people of St. Lucia. Therefore, if the government decide, look, we can do this, we can put this in place, and we believe that it will help, then that's their prerogative. But I am saying that I am not saying that the opposition leader should oppose everything that is good. No, not because you're in opposition, you oppose everything, good and bad. But Mr. Shastney has a responsibility to question anything that he has concerns about. And nobody should make him feel like he's not a St. Lucian or he don't like the country and he loved the crime that is going on. Nobody should get to that conclusion. Go ahead, sir.
Let me tell you something, Brother Garfield. I think you are so misinformed when you say about people should not ask questions. I have never said anybody shouldn't ask questions. As a matter of fact,
inform me.
I welcome diversification of opinion. I am one of the persons that can stand here, there, or anywhere and can take diversification of opinion. Mm-hmm. You're saying that I simply ask you, why is it that you want to blame the Prime Minister for laws that people are blaming him for when he puts it on the book? Okay? People are critical of it instead of enforcing.
But answer, wait a minute. I think you missed the show. Who's criticizing the Prime Minister at this point?
What's that?
Who on this show is criticizing the Prime Minister? And by the way, the same law, the same law that he passed. You just said. But hold, the same law that he passed.
Now, if we're going to have a discussion, let's have it reasonable back and forth.
I think I'm a reasonable,
person. Speaking and I allowed you.
Go ahead.
If you want to cut me up and you don't want to hear me, then that's all right. If you're going to be realistic, let me make my point.
Go ahead, my brother. Okay? Make your point.
You said that the opposition, they don't want them to speak on the laws. What part of the law that is wrong that you can safely say on this platform that is wrong and is not in keeping with the lawlessness and the assassinations that is blatantly? Tell me the part of the law that is wrong and let us discuss the part that you think is wrong and that should not be applicable to the reckless killing that's going on in Central. Tell me the part of it.
But let me ask you a question.
No, I don't want you to ask me.
I want to ask you a question because you're asking me a question based on nothing.
But you're asking me a question
I have said.
And I asked you a question and you refuse to answer me.
But answer, listen, I have never said to you about any part. Wait.
Which of the parts of the law is good and which is bad?
Anson, as the host of the show, I am telling you that the question you're asking, you are assuming that the moderator here is saying to the people of St. Lucia that there was something wrong with the law. I said to you clearly.
What you were saying?
I said to you clearly. No. Let me tell you what I said. Let me confirm it. What I said is that the opposition leader, Mr. Shastney, and Mr. Bradley have a right to question
but I am agreeing with you on that. I agree.
So we good.
So we good. I agree wholeheartedly.
So we good then.
I agree with you.
Okay, good. So,
all I'm asking you
we good.
Is since you are critical, you are the moderator, I am asking you here and now which part of the bill that you think should not be applicable and which is wrong or which is right. That's what I want you to tell me.
Brother Anson, I have never commented on that bill. I have never gotten into the bill to say this is bad,
Brother
this is good.
You just said earlier on it violates people. It is not.
I said any law.
I said of violation.
And this, sir, I said any law that violates the rights of people, an opposition should be there as check and balances.
I agree with, but I disagree.
But that's what I said earlier. I never said that.
No, Brother Garfield. You said that the law violates people's rights.
I never said that, sir.
I am asking you which
I said
can you
any
tell
law.
me and your audience which of the parts of the bill or the law that should not be allowed to the lawlessness that is going on in St. Lucia? I need to know. And if you point it out to me, I will on this show agree with you that there is something wrong with the law that needs. Laws are made by men, okay, and they should be changed when and if challenged on the basis of what it represents. I am standing here as someone who is for the law, and I am speaking to someone who thinks that the law is unjust. I am simply asking you to give me the unjust reasons so I can stand here with you and say these parts of the law need to be changed. All I am seeing is people are dying, and what I see is my Prime Minister is doing something to be able to assist and help with all the wrongs that are going on in our society.
And all I am seeing you doing
that people should help.
And all I'm seeing you doing, Brother Anson, respectfully, is that you are giving 100% to Mr. Fair, but you are saying that there are others, you are referring to Mr. Chasney as opposing the law. That's what you're saying, right?
Let me tell you something. What is about the law that you opposing? The law is designed. Let me tell you something. I just said laws are made by men and should be changed, amended, or some parts of it. There are objections and omissions. I am saying if there is a part of the law on the basis of what is going, hence the reason that law was passed. So all I am asking here and now for clarification on the subject. If I'm wrong, I will take it. You're wrong. What are the parts of the law that is so wrong that cannot be applied to the existing murder cases that is going? Tell me the part that is wrong. I don't want innuendos. I want facts.
I don't know
what is right or what is wrong.
Brother Anson, I don't know how you're trying to pull me into that psychological thing that you're doing.
Now you're trying to make it seem like I'm trying to be psychological. We are having an open discussion.
You are, because I did not.
We have an audience that are listening to us. All I need you to tell me is this is what is wrong. You are opposing something. You have to have factual and investigative.
You're making me feel
that you are enjoying.
But you are making me feel. Hold a minute.
That these are the facts that are wrong. But all I am saying is people are dying, and we need laws that can help us with the situation that is happening now.
But answer that statement.
Of this now
okay. All right. Okay, I got you. But listen, sir. Listen. The law was implemented to protect the people of Vieux-Fort from dying, right?
It's not from Vieux-Fort. No, I don't want you to say from Vieux-Fort. That law is meant for St. Lucia. There is no law that is specifically applicable to Vieux-Fort. It is that law needs to be applied no matter where, anywhere in St. Lucia. Anyway.
So let me ask you. So did the Prime Minister declare Vieux-Fort a crime zone?
Can I ask the question again?
Did the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Philip J. Pear, declare Vieux-Fort, certain parts of Vieux-Fort, as a crime?
Brother Garfield, let me tell you something. I watch you making a plea. And rightfully so. I am moved by this thing myself, and it hurts. And when I saw you, you resort to tears on this platform tonight, talking about, that innocent child who lost his life and the grandmother. And I am sympathetic to the cause. You said there is no outrage. Yet I am saying that there should be enough outrage that people should support the law of allowing the police to go and find those guns that will not kill those people.
And I am saying,
a concept for us to adopt?
Right, and I am saying to you that based on what I heard from Mr. Chasney and Mr. Bradley in the House, was that they had some concern about the law which they aired in the House.
Brother Garfield, let me say this to you. There are laws on the book currently that are worse than the laws that are passed in the House now. And I am saying my opinion is that the opposition and the government, should come together. Whether you're in opposition, you're not going to oppose things just for opposing. Because Chasney is the government in waiting. And one of these days, if he gets back into office, it would mean that those laws will be implemented by him. So this is not a Flabo or a labor situation.
It could be repudiated.
This is neither Flabo nor labor. This is a law for St. Lucia. When Philip Japier will be no more, the laws are still going to be there to govern the lawlessness of anybody, whether it's Flabo or SLP. It does not matter.
But
that's what I am saying.
But
so
Anson, I am saying to you, I am saying to you, brother, that the Honorable Alan Chasney, one, loves his country, two, wants a peaceful St. Lucia. Period. The laws that were passed, hold a minute, the law that was passed, again, the opposition had concerns about certain aspects of that law. They aired whatever it was. The law was still, hold a minute, the law was passed by the government. We have 4 persons losing their lives. In that 4, we have a 3-year-old losing their life under that same law.
No. Let me tell you something. I agree with you. And you know why? Because there are more opposition to the people who are supposed to be executing the laws. And you know something? Therein lies the problem. If the laws are taken seriously, and there is more destructive criticism about the Prime Minister, okay, in his attempt to help people, okay, in his attempt to get into the places, to get those guns off the street. There are more people who are critical of the law than they have the willingness to stand and fight with the law to be able to get the guns off the street and off the hands of the people. We violating the rights when we go in the house to search.
Okay,
we violate everybody's right at the cost of other people dying. And now that the child is dead and the woman is dead, everybody wants to call it. But they are afraid to put the law in effect, and they are calling about people dying. You cannot have it both ways.
Wait. Hold. Anson, hold. Who is responsible to implement laws in the country? The opposition or the government?
The government.
Good.
Yes.
Did they pass the law? Yes.
Yes, of course.
Was the law activated in Viewfort? Yes. Did we lose anybody in Viewfort under that activation? Yes. 4, including a young boy.
Oh, okay. Brother Garfield, the law is, I tell you, there's no law for Viewfort. There is a law for St. Lucia. Okay? And the opposition, just opposed and said everything is wrong, that they're violating people.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
They should not go where the guns are expected.
Anson, that's a lie. Anson, that's a lie.
Hold on.
Yeah, but that's a lie. I cannot allow you to spew a lie on the platform. That's not true.
This is a lie that you will not oppose, and you will say that people should not go in people's house. They violate.
But listen to me. Let me remind you, and I know both of us are outraged tonight, but let me remind you, right? 1, it was the Labour Party government who showed a lot of lawlessness in the nation during COVID. They violated every law that was implemented by the Alan Chasney administration to protect the people of St. Lucia. Your SLP government, SLP government violated every protocol. Say to the people there is no COVID, that the government is having their foot on our necks because they're implementing laws to protect the people of St. Lucia.
Are you trying to deviate from the topic of crime and your opposition? You're not going to deviate my attention from talking about the law.
Where was your outrage?
That a whole lot of people are opposing, and they are causing people to believe that they are violating them instead of allowing them. I need to stay on this topic. We can go on another topic if you want, but I need clarification on this topic so that we can move on to the next topic.
No, but I just want to remind you.
Violate what law?
But Anson,
this violation of the law, we're talking about the crime and the laws that are in place to deal with them. I do not want you to go ahead and bear with me. I need us to stay because people are dying. Do you agree that the police should go in the people's house where they suspect that there are lawlessness and guns? Do you agree that the police has a right to go in there based on the law? Do you agree with that? But
Brother Anson, you sound like the host of the show. I am saying to you, based on what you are saying,
I am simply asking you. You are the moderator of the show. You were critical of the situation that the laws were passed, and yet people died. Okay, I am asking you: do you agree it's a good law that the government passed? And do you agree that they should be going in places where they suspect the arms and ammunition are and get them out so they don't kill any more people on the street or in their homes? I'm asking you that.
No, but that's not where I want to be at this time as yet. I want to confirm to you that while you were complaining about the opposition not supporting laws and opposing that recent law.
Why would you not want to go there when that's
No, I'm going
about?
there.
I came because you were talking
Brother
about
Anson,
it.
give me some time.
How
I am
you
going
don't
there.
want to discuss?
Brother Anson, I'm happy that you're here. Give me some time. I am going there. But I am saying to you, on this United Workers' Party platform, that that your SLP people hands are not clean when it comes to laws that were implemented to protect the citizens of St. Lucia. I'm just setting that up. While you are saying that, the UWP didn't support the new law and blah, blah, blah. That's what you're saying to me. But I'm just reminding you what the SLP did during COVID, and we lost hundreds of souls after, died, perished as a result of that. So let's move on to this new law. Let's move on to this. Let's move on now to the gun issues.
If you're saying that the SLP, if you are saying that the SLP trampled on every law that the UWP had, so are you justifying the reason for their behavior right now? Is that what you're doing?
Brother Anson, I wanted to set that foundation in your mind.
Are you justifying their behavior because you believe that they did UWP wrong?
Brother Anson, the UWP supports, the UWP supports every effort to curb the crime in St. Lucia. So don't you ever think otherwise. I am just reminding you that your people are not saints in this matter when it comes to laws. They have opposed every law.
This is not my line of argument. I'm not saying that either. I will never say that. Everybody have their shortcomings. Everybody have certain things that they like and they don't like. But is it what we like or what is right for the conditions that we are faced with? That's what I'm asking.
Listen to me, Anson. I wish you can tell your Labour Party hacks that, because I am saying let's go in the boudin of what is happening to Vieux-Fort, right? What is happening in Vieux-Fort, friends? What we need is a collaboration between
the mic, Brother Garfield, because I need to hear you clearer.
Oh, you're not hearing me properly?
Right, I hear you clearer now.
Good. What I'm saying, right? The solution for Vieux-Fort right now is, one, we need to have the Philip J.P. administration going back into the garbage dump and take the proposal from Alan Chasney that he sent with recommendations to him, and both of them sit together and come up with not a temporary fix, but come up with a plan to transform the lives of the people of Vieux-Fort. We need collaboration. We need a unity, cooperation between the opposition and between the Prime Minister. Is the opposition party ready to do it? Yes. Is the opposition ready to do it? They are compromised with two individuals who do not want anybody to listen to Alan Chasney and any ideas that he have. They said that he do not have the right to speak.
Brother Garfield, this is not true. You know that's not true. How can he's given, his opportunity on the floor to debate the bill? How can you in good faith say that he doesn't want him to speak? He's allotted his time to make his contribution, whether he opposed or whether he's in favor. That is a misrepresentation of the fact. That's not the case at all.
And so I'm beginning to believe that you're not hearing me clearly through the mic system.
No, I'm hearing you now. No. You said they don't want him to talk.
Okay,
that is not the case. So, because he is given his opportunity to speak on the matter, so whether or not that they agree with what he says.
So if
you believe that Alan Chasney has a plan that is better than what it is that he is opposing, in the same time that he was given on the floor to debate the bill, why didn't he say, okay, I don't think this is proper, but this is my proposal? If he has a bill, why he has it in hiding? Why didn't he bring it on the floor and say to the whole nation, these are the plans that these people have? Okay, I find fault with this, that, or whatever the case may be, But this is my proposal, and I believe this would work better. Why
Brother
didn't you do that?
Brother Anson, you acting like you don't watch the news and you don't know what your SLP hacks are doing. One, wait. I give you no wait, brother.
Leader.
Wait, let me answer you.
He is making a point. He's allotted a certain amount of time.
But let me address you.
That is of importance to St. Lucia.
But sir, can I address you based on what you're saying? One,
go ahead.
You saw in the house. I observed you were on that platform.
Yes,
you were there watching. You were there watching. When Mr. Shasse, every time he stands up to make his contribution, he's been heckled, he's been bullied, he's been caught, he's been disturbed. A lot of things is happening to him. The man gave Philip J. Pear. He gave him an open letter with some recommendations. Philip J. Pear came back and said he threw it in Deglo. He threw it in the garbage dump. You there?
I mean, Brother Garfield, I think you missed out. Do you realize how much more time that the opposition voted and that the government voted to allow Alan Shasse to speak? Are you aware of that? Are you aware of there were twice that they allowed him more time to make his contribution? They voted on an amendment to allow him to speak. How you can tell me he didn't have more time even after his time was up? The opposition, the government showed him courtesy enough to extend the time. How would you tell me he didn't have the time if he was extended?
Brother Anthony, do me a favor. I'm going to take this call. I want you to call back in 20 minutes. Hold a minute. Eh? I'm going to take this call, right?
Okay.
This call, I want you to call back.
Caller, you're on the air.
I'm going to take this call, right?
Okay.
This call, I want you to call back. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, Brother Garfield. How are you doing? Good evening to you,
my brother. I'm here. I'm here. Wow.
Brother Garfield, Brother Garfield, listen to this. I want Anson to understand that if he listened to himself properly before he explained all these things happening, when he said that about the opposition leader, was it Alan Shasse who said that he ready to give ideas to the leader of the to Philip J. Pierre? Did he not say that? And what did Philip J. Pierre said? His idea have been flushed into dead low. So Anson, you know what these guys is doing? They know exactly what's going on. Tell Anson if he's man enough. The crime in Vieux Fort. Remember when I called your show last week?
Yeah.
And I said to you, there will be more killing in Vieux Fort. You remember when I said that to you?
Yes.
And it's not even about a week or 2 weeks.
We had that
it's been happening. So Anson, if you're man enough with your Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, that talk, saying when RSS was coming in, when they leave in, and now I understood there's another set that came back again. Do you think that will stop the crime? Anson, you go out there, tell your Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, right, how to manage Vieux Fort. And whoever is representing Vieux Fort, Kenny Anthony, to go on the street in Vieux Fort, go to Shantytown and protest with the people out there so the gang war will stop. Because what's been happening there, it's called a gang war. You kill my father, I going to kill you back. I going to kill your family. Sorry for the 2-year-old. It happened, but it's the gang thing going on in St. Lucia right now, in Vieux Fort. Where else is happening? So, Anson, take your priorities right. No government don't want this. But when Alan Shasse did say that he was given ideas, and he have the idea to give to this Philip J. Pierre, what did your Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre said? He going to take it to dead low in the dump. So what's going on there? Shame on your Anson. And you always call in any UWP platform to talk nonsense. You and your so-called friend called Shazi. And I will always criticize yours. And when you all want to come and talk politics and talk sense for St. Lucian to understand you all, when you hear that I, Cool Vibes, have my program on my Cool Vibes radio station, you call and I will stand up for you. Because, and Brother Garfield, I'm telling you again.
Yes, sir.
Your listeners on Facebook, your viewers, they are listening. And they are ready for you to flush these guys because you keeping them too long with them nonsense. Because we have sense now, we have picked up sense from what Labour Party been doing in St. Lucia and what's been happening. Because if it was United Workers' Party on the great Alan Shasse that was in government, what's happening in Vieux Fort would have been a calm. Because we'll not bring RSS on the taxpayers' money, bring them in for 1 week, spending holiday, and never did make no arrest on anything. And you're still sending them back and going on national television and news and say, oh, they're returning back to their country, and then you bring another set. You don't talk. That's just to show you how Labour Party have been weak in St. Lucian, and they have been weak in government. They have no idea. They have no strategy how to run this country. That's what's been happening. And I'm telling you from fact. I am on the road every day in St. Lucia right now. I've been there for the past 4 weeks. And I've been watching, I've been listening, I've been hearing people talking. You understand? And the same people who vote them now crying. So, Anson, I don't know where you base, but wherever you base, you need to come to St. Lucia and see what's happening right now, because y'all are weak, my brother. And you have a right to call back, because I'm not throwing words to words, because your Labour Party, what y'all doing, when y'all call a talk show, y'all like, when people criticize y'all like to call back and say, this person is this person going to die with heart attack, this and blah, blah, blah. We're not there for this. Manage yourself rightly. And if you're managing yourself rightly, none of these things will not happen. Because just to show you that you'll win an election that well you don't deserve with all your cocoa marketing and hypocrisy that you all need to win. And that's why St. Lucia is beaten. And it happened in the south side. So now you all need to go down in the south side, you and your government and the minister, and say, listen, we had enough in Viewfort. When I look at Viewfort on Saturday, right? Saturday, Viewfort was nice on Clark Street. And when you hear Saturday evening, what's happening in Shantytown? The people want their privacy. They want to be back on road. And so that's what your government's supposed to see before you talking nonsense. If you live in abroad or in the United States or England or wherever, you need to come down to St. Lucia. Do like me, travel and come and see how your country is running. And then you could call platforms on any shows and explain yourself. Because you'll listen by he say, they say on Loop News, St. Lucia News Online. Come and see for yourself and leave the people alone and do not call our UWP platform to talk nonsense, because we've fed up with y'all. St. Lucia is bleeding to death right now. The south side of Viewfort is bleeding. Viewfort is quiet as a mouse watching cheese. You think the people not fed up? Young people dying, kids dying because of what? Gang war. And up to now, the Prime Minister cannot come and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. If you call in RSS and RSS cannot do the job, bring the army. You know the reason why you cannot call America and ask them for help? Because you'll criticize a white man. America is watching you like cheese because you'll have some radical. I'm telling you again, some people who disrespecting people intelligent in front of them in your government that don't have visas to travel abroad to America. You'll have criminal in your cabinet, so that's why America will never help. You're afraid to call Anson, and I tell you that without a doubt. That is the reason why. So Viewfort is paying for it, because that's why we have our international airport. Brother Garfield, have a good evening.
Thank you very much. And Call, I just want to add that, thanks for that call, and thank you, Anson, for calling too. I like diversity of discussion. I know some of you get irritated and angry, but I like to have the engagement, because sometimes we need to have difference of opinions. But I will say to you that the Alan Shastney administration went out of their way. They went out of their way to give advice and give heads up, even about the recession. Even with the recession, advice were given, were rejected. It were rejected. And now Anson is saying, oh, the government should, Alan Shastney should bring his plan and submit his plan. He did. It was thrown in the garbage. Yes, he did. Let's not forget. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the platform.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Good evening, everyone on the platform. Just to remind Anson a little bit, and I'm going to go straight to this, I'm not going to be too long, that when this bill was being discussed in the House, that this bill was sent to the opposition the day before, 1, and 2, there were amendments made to it shortly before going into the House. Now, the opposition leader and the Choiseul Rep MP said they did not disagree with the bill. However, they've got to have a closer look at the bill to ensure that it's not encroaching on people's personal civic rights. Okay? Now, nobody said the bill was not a good bill. However, a lot of the stuff in that bill, the policemen already have those. This is already given to the policemen. It just has to be okayed by a commissioner, an inspector, someone within a higher rank from a line police officer.
That's right.
Nobody is telling Anson this bill is already an inspector is taking the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to task. He is suing them for someone stopping him and not identifying themselves as the police and hitting him with his car door, etc. Apparently the person didn't know he was a retired inspector. I am a young lady. I drive north and south. If I am driving from the south or anywhere in St. Lucia, and some guy in plain clothes tells me, stop, 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 stop. With all the crime that is going on in St. Lucia, will I just stop and let this person approach me? Wasn't that police officer supposed to flash his badge and say police, even if he's in plain clothes? You know, so Anson, when you're saying that people disagree with the law, has the law stopped the killings, Anson? A 3-year-old got shot 8 times. 8 times. Got murdered with 8 bullets. A 3-year-old. 1 bullet will kill a 3-year-old. A mother and grandmother got shot. A son got shot and a lady got shot afterwards. 4 persons got shot in Viewport. Has those laws stopped people from getting shot? Isn't that what Philip JPS said? Things are good back in Viewport. So his laws has not done crap. Holistically, a plan needs to be drawn up, or a holistic plan needs to be drawn up, where this crime, where we penetrate the ghettos and wherever the crime is, to deal with individuals, to speak to people. We need to get people away from, we need to destroy the ghettos in St. Lucia and give people homes and give them jobs. So there's no need for young men, young women to be going into drugs and arms and all the rest of it. There'll be no need. And then you're going to call Garfield and try to twist him around and say, why is the opposition opposing the law? The law wasn't just opposed by the opposition. The opposition didn't even have time to read through these and have some legal minds look at it and say, okay, this is what civilians are going to take some heat from this law if certain things are not written and amended to suit people and their civil rights. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't deal guns. I have nothing to do with gangs. But what if a plainclothes police officer stopped me, like I was saying? Am I supposed to just pull up at 8 o'clock in the night and a guy is stopping me and if I don't stop, he shoots at my car and he kills me without identifying himself as a policeman? So your laws, Anson, yours and Pip's laws ain't working. People have gotten shot since those laws were passed. And then you come in and you're coming on this platform and making your noise as always? Oh, Brother Garfield, I am sick. I'm tired. Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah, I'm concerned, very concerned, and I'm also tired.
Sorry?
I am also tired of, how we engage in these discussions, because my friend Anson is acting like we are not aware, or like what we saw in the house was not what we saw in the house, is something else. Don't believe what you saw on what you heard with your own ear. Where the opposition clearly said, I am not opposing the bill. I want the people of Viewport to be saved.
Over again. We are not opposing the bill.
They said we're not opposing the bill, but we have concerns. And guess what? I believe that there was an amendment based on the concerns of the opposition leader. Because Mr. Shasta was saying, wait a minute, you are empowering all levels of officers to just block a road, go into people's house without a warrant. Under the present law, you need an inspector or someone in authority to give that order. Not just a regular policeman
Exactly.
who meets you down the road because you maybe take his girlfriend from him. He don't like you. He just take the opportunity to go in your house and do what he wants. Yes, they are crooked cops, and that's the truth.
Look at what happened to a retired inspector driving in Bruceville or the Promenade or wherever.
Although I believe that
he
inspector
was stopped by a plainclothes policeman.
but I believe too that that at least they should have dealt with that whole situation differently. It's a high police. I believe it's a high police area, and the inspector should have paid a little more caution there with what was happening.
No, but the inspector asked him, "Who are you? Who are you?" So he should have identified himself and flashed his badge. But he did not. He refused to say who he was. He didn't even say, "I am a policeman."
Well, that's according to the inspector. I am ordering you to stop.
I am ordering you to stop. Telling someone I am ordering you to stop is not telling the person I am the police. Please stop. Let's flash my badge. The man gave an account of what happened with him in Vieux-Fort, And that is the exact same thing that we are trying to prevent with those half-assed laws that Philip J. Pierre just came there and tried to put on the books. And like the opposition leader was saying, call us a state of emergency for this area or whatever, and then we'll deal with it. So the policemen are given certain powers to go in there and do what they have to do for that. And when the crime has gone down and things have quieted down, you take off the state of emergency.
But I think it's the same laws that were there.
And those laws are going to come back to haunt that government.
But those laws are on the books, where he could have declared the place a state of emergency in the area there and have the police to go in and do the same thing. It was that, I believe, because during COVID that was implemented, that was used.
So this whole garbage about putting laws there that already exist and that the policemen could Brother Garfield, let me give somebody else a chance to call, because I am, I'm just, I can't, first and foremost, I can't even listen to Anson when he comes with his garbage, because everything, I'm sorry if I sound disrespectful, everything that comes out of this man's mouth having to do with politics is garbage. It is not factual. Anson comes and makes up some stories to feed to people. You don't do that, Answer. We all look at what's going on in St. Lucia. We are on the ground. We are not stupid like the previous caller said. We know what's going on. You are watching whatever programs you're watching that's feeding you half-assed information, or may I say half-assed information, and coming and make a complete fool out of yourself. Anson, do us a favor, if you're going to come on a platform, especially this one, although it's not my platform, please make your contributions truthful and stop coming with your lies, because we all watch the opposition leader and we watch Bradley in the House when this bill was being discussed. So come with some truth. And Brother Garfield, on that note, may I say good night to you and to everybody in the forum. I will go back and listen.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Appreciate that call.
Thank you. Thank you.
Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network. Folks, you can call anytime, 929-586-1821. Go ahead, caller. Oh, hold a minute. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Good evening, my friend. Go ahead.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Brother Garfield, let me say something. I've been inundated with calls with regards to the reckless and the callous statements that KKR made on the story of Facebook Live this morning. Let me set the record straight.
Please do.
Because you see, I pride myself in my integrity, and this is the only thing that each and every one of us have: our integrity, our reputation. Number one, I have never been accused or I'm never wanted or have been wanted for attempted rape. That's number one. So that's false. That's a blatant lie. Number two, I never resided or have I never resided in Philadelphia. Number three, I have never been wanted or been sought for any child support by my kid's mom. As from the time I know myself, Brother Garfield, I have been an standing, upright father and take care of my kids financially and otherwise. So there's no need for any child support proceedings to be brought against me. I say that to say, Brother Garfield, and I'm using your platform this evening to clear the air on that because it's the habit of the Semusha Labour Party and its operatives. When you oppose them to go after you personally and to spread falsehood or to spread lies about you and to try to tarnish your reputation and your integrity. So I want to clear the air because throughout the day, I've been inundated with calls. I want to set the record straight on that. And I want to put KKRR on notice. KKRR, stop your lies. Stop your lies because I've come to the conclusion now. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm seeking legal redress. I've said so before. When you remember when the threats were made against our lives, you, myself, and Sister Min Overward, I took some action, but it seems like you're getting bold KKRR and you continue on your mission to spread falsehood, to spread lies about me. So I have to resort to legal action because it has to stop and it has to stop now. So I just want to put that out there in the public space and thanks for giving me the opportunity on your platform, Brother Garfield, to clear the air on that issue. Secondly,
go ahead.
What we saw over the weekend was very unfortunate. It's sad. Laws by itself cannot curb what we see happening in Garfield. We need a outside of the box strategy. And I applaud Brother Kulvais when he said, and he's right, the leader of the opposition gave Philip JP a 5-point plan as to how recommendations or suggestions as to how we should approach this whole crime issue. He said it was nonsensical. It deserved to be in day glue. He dismissed the opposition leader. Here it is that an opposition is saying to the government, look here, crime, we should not be politicizing crime. Crime is each and everyone's business. I'm giving you solutions. I'm giving you recommendations to help fight the crime situation. And your response as a prime minister to say, your recommendation deserves to be at day glow. This is our prime minister says he wants to govern a country. I mean, come on, Anson. Let us get real here. And you come on those platforms and talk a lot of nonsense. Government, Brother Garfield, are elected to protect its people. Governments are elected to provide economic wealth for its people. That governments are elected to give each citizen an education, each citizen proper health care. This is why people vote government. And we should not find any excuse when a government says one thing in opposition. They had all the answers. The Labour Party had all the answers when they were in opposition. You remember that, Brother Garfield?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When
Yes.
COVID-19 hit St. Lucia in 2020, what did the Labour Party do? They politicized the pandemic. They said there was no COVID. They went and organized a march in town in the city of Castries. And what did we see? These are facts. The number of COVID-19 cases at the time spiked. It increased because of that so-called march that the Labour Party
Yes, it did.
I mean, so we must not play games with this thing. Instead of, at the time, rallying around Alan Chapman at the time and saying, okay, this is a pandemic. This was something new to the world and to St. Lucia. Let us come together as an opposition and the government to fight the pandemic. The Labour Party politicized. They played politics. Alan Chapman said, okay, we need to get vaccines so that the people can get some vaccination to protect them. They said they told their supporters, do not take the vaccine. It was Alan Chapman's vaccine. Played politics with COVID-19.
Yeah.
This is what a responsible opposition should do. And this is why with regards to the crime situation, the opposition leader, Alan Shaftesbury, gave the Labour Party government recommendation as to how we can go about tackling this crime situation. They refused it. I mean, it's very unfortunate. And the in thing now for the Labour Party hat is to say that people rejoice in the situation in the crime. Nobody's rejoicing. What we're saying is your government said it had the plan to tackle the crime situation. It's evident, it's obvious that they do not have a plan. So if you do not have a plan, reach out to the opposition and say, okay, Mr. Shaftesbury, let us have a sit down, opposition and government, and let us see how we can collectively tackle this whole crime situation, because we cannot do it. The people would have more respect for you, Philip JP, if you take that approach. But Garfield, we are in serious trouble. The country is in a mess, whether you like it or not, whether we want to admit it or not. The country is in a total mess. Nothing is working. The crime situation is terrible. The healthcare situation is terrible. The social fabric is terrible. The justice system is in a mess. Everything is in total disarray. But we need some kind of intervention. Where that intervention will come, it must start with us. We must, and I agree with you, we must demand high standards from our politicians.
Amen. Thank you.
With that being said, Brother Garfield, have a blessed night, and thanks for giving me the opportunity once again to clear the air on the reckless and the falsehood of KKRR this morning. And I just want to say to St. Lucian, those of you who viewed the live, everything that KKRR said this morning was total lies. Nothing, very, very, very far from the truth. I want to set the record straight. I have never been wanted for attempted rape. That's a blatant lie. Number two, that I have no child support proceedings against me. I've been an upright, upstanding father to my kids, and I continue to do that. There's no reason for me to prove anything to anybody, but you see, human beings have a thing. When they hear things, they tend to believe. So I just wanted to clear the air on that, and thanks for giving me the opportunity on your platform, Brother Garfield, to clear the air on that.
No problem.
Have a blessed night.
No problem.
Garfield.
Anytime.
And
Thank
good
you.
Program as usual.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. So, friends, there you have it. Ian is speaking about a live this morning on social media where he was accused of rape, and he's calling to say categorically that he's not a rapist. He have never lived in that state here in the United States, Philadelphia. So we just wanted to clear the air on that. All right, let's take another call, and I have one promotion from the United Workers' Party that we got to do. I believe we had a call coming in. Let me see if I can get that person. I have a missed call here. Let's see if we can get them. These two calls, I got to call them back because they were calling all the time. All right, so just bear with us, folks. And this was not my intention to go political, but the questions were asked, and we answer those questions as they come.
Good evening.
Good evening. Caller, you on the air. I'm just returning your call. You are in line, next in line.
Oh, well, you can take somebody else at the moment because I was just stepping out.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
I will call one of these days because I always watch. Okay. But I was calling to tell you, just let Anson go about his business because he's just trying to see if he could get you off your,
Okay, I got you, caller. Thank you.
Off whatever important thing you're talking about tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Be safe, all right?
Some other time.
Some other time, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have one more call that we have in line. Let me see if I can get it. That was our Florida call. Let's go to our New York, I believe, call. Call it. Okay, stay with us. Let's see if we can get this person up. Caribbean American News Network, calling you on the air. You were next in line.
Oh, Brother Garfield, that was me.
That
I
was
just
you?
called
Okay.
the show, so thank you for returning my call.
Okay, good. All right, so I believe let's go over to our YouTube quickly so that we can ensure that persons were able to make their contributions. Okay, let's see. Oh, missed calls. Okay, all right, okay. So we're not going to take them now, but folks, let's go over to some developments here from the United Workers Party. Let me ensure that my volume it is up. All right. As we know, the United Workers' Party will be having their convention on the 16th. On the 16th of April. That is Sunday, the 16th of April, and that is Convention Day, and it will be held in Soufrière. On the 14th, there's an open barbecue, and that is from 12 noon. So from 12 noon, there will be a open barbecue on the 14th. And on the 15th, there is a country and western dance that is at 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., we see a song clash that is on the 16th also, and that will be at 11 a.m., the Hummingbird Beach Park. We also have a public meeting, I believe, by the United Workers' Party that will be held at the Soufrière bus terminal at 4 p.m. So there will be a public meeting at the Soufrière bus terminal at 4 p.m. On the same date, the 16th of April. All family, or inviting our entire Flabo family to join us for a fun-filled, inspiring weekend in Soufrière. And that is proud, strong, and united. This is from the United Workers' Party official convention layout for the weekend of the 16th, the 14th to the 16th of April 2023. And I just want to add, I want to say to those of you who are attending these sessions to stay away from alcohol, be careful, be polite, be respectful, watch your space, and ensure that you get home safely. Remember, righteousness exalts your nation. All right. We have another public announcement from the, sorry about that. We have another public announcement, and this one, bear with me. It is from the United Workers' Party Dennery North Town Hall meeting. Dennery North Town Hall meeting, April 11th at 6 p.m. That is tomorrow, April the 11th at 6 p.m. at the Larry Shoes Parish Hall, and this is Road to Convention. The Larry Shoes Parish Hall. So the United Workers' Party Dennery North Town Hall meeting held by the United Workers' Party, April 11th at 6 p.m. the Larry Shoes Parish Center. They are calling all United Workers' Party supporters of Dennery North to be in attendance. And again, that is Road to Convention. And we have another ad. This is from Lux Car Rental. This is the official car rental of the convention, Road to Convention. If you're heading on the road to the convention, you will need a ride. You will need a car. You will need a car. And this is Lux Rental, rent a car. And the telephone number is 758-285-2848. Again, the number is 758-285-2848. That's Lux Inc., Lux Rent a Car. You can't go wrong. This is, I suspect, the official car rental of Caribbean American News, Road to the Convention. We have another promotion here. We have Pearl's Passion with a Z. If you have problems with arthritis, back problems, please see our friend Pearl's. That is, you have body scrub, you have facial, manicure, pedicure, waxing. She will be doing a lot of massaging and, you know, all yourself done good, man. Yes, man. If you want a good body rub, and everything is 100% natural. 100% natural. The number 758-717-0194. Again, the number to call is 758-717-0194. Si ou ka souffre from rheumatism, arthritis, si tête ou ka fa mal, shoulders, boudon, n'importe côté qui ka fa mal. 758-717-0194. Ek si ou maye, ek bagay la pa travay bien, engine la run out of oil, ou sa kriye Pearl, ek ikay ba ou ikay photo, ek engine la kay travay akor, mais ou ni pou maye. Si ou pa maye, pa kriye. 758-717-0194. Alright? So, vous voulez faire ti mamay ou pas faire ti mamay, et kou maye, kriye, i kay wajou, i kay photo, et kou kay faire ti mamay. Alright? Moi-même exemple. So, si vous avez marié ou ça fait ti mamay, vous pas marié, pas y faire rien, pas y rob, pas faire rien. Alright? Check call avant rec call. But folks, I am so happy to be here with you tonight, in spite of us, having, these very sad moments and heated discussion. I believe that we are one solution. We love our country. We want to see better on the island. And let's do what we can. Let's support those ads that I promoted, the body rubs and the car rental and all the others. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Again, brethren, exinomla, nine program lezo because as nom nou ka fè shy bêtise, ek savwe. Nou ka fè shy bêtise, ek nou ka hurt se fam la. Nou ka hurt yo. Nou ka jrek se vel yo. Nou ka di yo, nou kotan yo, ek yo pa kotan, c'est just sex of le. Ek sa pa bon, se fam la pa sex toy. Sou pa kotan se fam la pa pou sex yo. Ek si ou pa we pou fè ish, ek maintain se ish la pa fè. I coupe gweno, me pa fè, because sa nou ni adi da society ya, I pa bon. Ek la ni a breakdown adi da family circle la ni a breakdown, bagay pa function bien. Ou check li, la ni trop nom ki pa take care of ti mama yo. Ek la ni a chay fam, yo pa sa même lave koyo, mais yo ka fè sex, ek yo ka fè bagay ko han. Ou check li, ek sa vwe, la ni trop ti mamay ki ka fè ti mamay. Yo pas sa même take care of koyo, ek yo ni ti mamay. Ek society a ka paye pour ça, c'est pareil ça. Moi ha dit ça, moi vle ki, si vous voulez fâcher, c'est où? Fâcher. Ek si vous voulez fâcher, vous a tout fait. Ek si vous fâcher au soir, n'a juste servi flush button là au soir. Moi j'ai oublié. Si vous fâchez, c'est ça fort. Moi-même, exemple. Folks, listen, folks. I appreciate all of you, and we look forward to seeing you. I'm not sure if I should come on tomorrow night. I'm going to get a call from somebody saying, you better get on that set. But because what I'm happening is that we are getting ready to broadcast live in St. Lucia. And that's the good news. We're getting ready to broadcast live on the island. We have already put in place a portable set to broadcast on the island, and we look forward to the many fun and activities that we're going to have on the island, and we hope that you prefer us and that we meet many of you when we get there. As I said to you, don't be afraid to come up to me and talk to me. Let's come. Once you see me anywhere, on the airport, anywhere, just come and talk, all right? No matter what we have gone through in the past, I have forgotten all that. We love you very much. We are one united family. We are St. Lucians. We love our country, and we want to see better in our society. All right? So one love, peace, and may God continue to bless you. Let me pray for you. Let me pray for somebody who needs the prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you tonight. Not perfect, but we are dependent on you for your righteousness. Oh God, we have failed you. All of us have failed. I have failed. Everybody have failed you, Lord. We have turned our backs on you. We have turned to our own ways. And Lord, you have said that there's a way that seems right unto man, but at the end are the ways of his destruction. Lord, draw us back to you so that our nation can be healed. Forgive us, Lord. Heal our land. We need our land to be healed. Blood cries out from the streets. Young blood, old blood, all types of blood, Lord, crying out from the street because we have failed you, O God. So restore our land. And if it's your will, Lord, take down leaders and put leaders up, oh God. Your will be done. Give us good night rest tonight. Watch over us as we sleep in Jesus' name. Amen. Folks, blessing to you all and God's guidance with you. So again, appreciate every one of you, and I look forward to seeing you in person by the grace of God. Am I excited about it? I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings, and that's the truth. But as I said, we'll be at the hospital. We'll be filming at the St. Jude Hospital. We'll be doing programs over there at both the hospital that is being used now at the stadium, and we will be at the construction site. We also will be, there's some other areas that we are scheduled to be in, and we look forward to you viewing the live. So you got to subscribe, and you got to put on the bell button so that you can get notification when we pop on, because you don't know when we're going to pop on, right? We are negotiating for good internet with one of the local internet service carriers, because we will need to have steady internet on the island for our live broadcasting. So we look forward, when we turn the light on in the Caribbean, that we will beam the truth. We will see what you are going through on the ground. I don't want to be sitting here just talking. We want to see for ourselves. We want to experience it for ourselves. We want to see what is happening. We want to film it, document it, bring it live to you. All right? So we look forward to meeting many of you. Again, don't be afraid to come and say hi when you see us. All right? Blessings, folks. Love you all. Peace and love. We out.